Welcome back to another episode of the Sistah Talk podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. No, I'm just a sister with a lot to talk about, and from week to week, y'all know I got more and more things to talk about. And y'all know anytime we go a week without seeing each other, you know your good sis got a mouthful to talk about. So listen, we got a lot to talk about on this episode, so I hope y'all got your pinkies up ready to spill the tea. But before we get into it, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. Click that button down below, make it turn red, turn on your bell notifications so that you're notified every time we drop a new video, and help your sister on her road to 200 subscribers. Now, what's been up with your good sis? Okay, listen, like I said, we went an extra week this time. So it's been a lot going on. Now, less shenanigans than the last time, but not a lot going on nonetheless. So what's been going on with your sister? So last time we talked literally the day before my birthday, which was August 18th. And I was letting you all know that I was getting ready to go outside and Leo just a little bit. But you know, we had the birthday shindig. So my sister, she showed up for me. She came in from out of town, came in from Baltimore, surprised me and planned my whole 24 hours. And listen, that was a dream come true for me, because if y'all know anything about Leos, we do it big every year for Leo season. And listen, I ain't had to plan nothing, so that was the perfect birthday for me. All I had to do was just show up. So my sister, you know, she took me out to brunch. She took me to a perfume making class, which I really enjoyed. We was in there really like some chemists in there cooking up. But you know, she had me in there making, you know, perfume, which was pretty fun. Now I know how to do it, so you know, holla at your girl, because I'm about to start selling the oils. But no, she took me to create perfume, which I was very excited about. I really enjoyed our smells that we created. So it definitely was a fun experience. I highly recommend it if you are a perfume girly, and you're looking for something to do that's not, you know, going outside drinking and having a good time partying. If you're looking for something chill, you know, that's something that you might enjoy. So we did that, and then we went to Kitchen and Cocktails later for dinner. And when I tell you, that food was so good, okay, you know your good sis is a foodie, so that food was amazing. But like I said, you know, my sister, she came, she planned everything. You know, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and shout out to her, give her a round of applause. Listen, she came in from out of town and she made my day the best day that it could have possibly have been. You know, me being in this new city, not, you know, having all my friends and family around me for the first time for my birthday. So I'm very grateful to her for, you know, just popping up on me and doing something nice for me like that. So I enjoyed my birthday celebration. Then shortly after that, I went to a different part of North Carolina, maybe about an hour away, and went on a spiritual retreat with my church. Because I told you all, you know, I'm getting a little bit more involved in the ministry and things of that nature. So went on a spiritual retreat. I would definitely say that it was a powerful, I want to say we were there for about 3 days. And it was a very powerful 3 days. It was a very liberating experience. Anytime you get to slow down, go off the grid, and just hear from God and just hear what he's, you know, saying to you, it's always a powerful time. And so I really enjoyed that time with my church family. And then towards the end, because, you know, it was still, well, actually we was in Virgo season at this point officially, but it was a little Leo left because we was in August. And they surprised me with axe throwing for my birthday, which I had never done before. Because I'm weird about it. Listen, I kept saying, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this. Because I went to Top Golf before, and Top Golf wasn't really my jig. But I was nervous about axe throwing because, like, you're throwing sharp objects. Like, I don't know. It was something about that was freaking me out. And I was just like, oh, I don't know. But I really ended up enjoying it. Listen, I don't care what my pastor tell y'all, I won. Listen, I won. And if she say she won, I don't recall. But nonetheless, we had a great time. So I really am, you know, grateful for just having, you know, a good positive group of women around me. People who, you know, take care of me and look out for me. Listen, I love that for me. Listen, I know there was like many times like in the past years where I was just like, oh, I'm always doing this for everybody else, but like, who's going to do anything for me? And normally like the person that's the backbone always feels that way. But I can finally say like I'm in this season of just receiving love love, like people who genuinely love me and just genuinely just do stuff for me. And like it wasn't always the easiest thing for me to accept love from people because, I was very independent. I did a lot on my own. I grew up like, hardcore, like, doing it on my own and not really depending on nobody. So like, this season of my life it feels good to be appreciated. But also, like I said, like it's not the easiest always to accept when somebody is doing nice things for you, especially if it's not normal to you. So I'm so grateful for just being in that season of reciprocation, being in that season of just being appreciated. It just makes my heart feel warm because y'all know me. I'm a lover. So just to be loved on a little bit has been amazing for me. Then, if you all follow my social media, listen, I told y'all we got a mouthful. I ain't talked to y'all in about 3 weeks. So I got to give y'all the details. Now, like I said, it ain't a whole bunch of shenanigans like the last time. It wasn't a whole bunch of shenanigans going on. This time, it was a lot of positivity, which I'm going to share the positive with y'all too. I went to a wealth summit. I traveled back home for the first time of me being here in Charlotte. So I've been here for almost about 5 months at this point. And my first time coming home was coming back to Baltimore for Wealth Summit Live 2025. And I know y'all been seeing me post about that. And so it was really a positive experience just being around a lot of influential Black entrepreneurs, people who have very empowering stories, people who have very humble beginning stories, and just seeing how their humble beginnings turned into humble successes and seeing where they are today. A lot of them just dropped a lot of gems that I was just like, yeah, I needed to be in this room right here, right now. And so it just allowed me to come back home with a different attitude, come back home energized. And with that being said, listen, I know that some of y'all got a friend request that says Sauceworthy Media Group. Some of y'all might have realized because of the logo. But for those of you who don't know, I'm officially announcing right now to you all that your good sis is relaunching her business. Shout out to me. Finally relaunching my business. This is the season of my life where I'm just like, you know what? I do so many things. I don't know how many of you all know that I'm actually like, I do videography. I help businesses brand themselves, do marketing strategy and digital media. And so I help out, like my background in marketing and my background being behind the camera is pretty much was propelling my purpose at this point and my passion for helping businesses and influencers and whoever just needs that, extra push, helping them brand themselves. So if you see that from request come through that says Sauceworthy and Media Group, and if you don't see it come through, follow us at Sauceworthy_media. A lot will be coming through that page. A lot will be posted there so you all can stay in the know. And if you are an influencer or a business owner or anybody who just needs help with branding strategy or limited graphic design, but I can help with graphic design. But ultimately, either with your social media presence, with media production, as far as, creating commercials, ads, and things of that nature, Sauceworthy Media Group will help you wherever you are. I'll allow you to customize a plan that meets you exactly where you are in your creative process. Whether you just need somebody to be on set and help with creative directing and being able to hold things together and make sure they move well. I got experience. I got you. If you need help with scouting location or scouting talent, I got you. If you need somebody to be behind the camera and point and shoot and show up with all the equipment and get your best angle, I got you. But also, if you need somebody who can help you with your marketing strategy and help you take that content, if it's already created, take that content and help you strategize to take your business or your brand to the next level, I got you. So definitely follow me on social media at Sauceworthy_media. Okay. Listen, Sauceworthy_media. Listen, help your good sis because your good sis is out here trying to make the dream work. Okay. Now that we got through all the logistics, right? Now that we got through all the good stuff, we're going to spill the tea, all right? It's time to spill the tea. Okay, listen, I know I left y'all with y'all pinkies up for a minute, but hopefully y'all still got them pinkies up because the tea is piping hot. Okay, listen, your good sis got a lot to talk about this week. Okay, it's a lot that I've seen that I gotta get some things off my chest about. So I hope y'all got y'all pinkies up and y'all ready for this tea. Now, the first thing that I want to spill the tea about, since it's back to school season, and I'm sure if you all are present on social media, on TikTok, on Instagram, I'm sure you all saw something along the lines about, teachers, this new wave of what teachers should wear and what they shouldn't wear, what's appropriate and what's not. And I'm not sure if you all came familiar with a young lady who goes by the name of Teacher Bay on TikTok. Her handle is actually at that girl underscore peachy. Now, Teacher Bay is under fire because of the clothes that she decides to wear to school. Now, she's a social media influencer of sorts, and she's basically garnered a lot of attention due to the outfits that she chooses to wear in front of her class. Now, she is a middle school teacher. A lot of people are in the comments with disgust around what she has to wear, because a lot of them are saying, well, what adult in their right mind wants to look good for children, right? Then there are other people who are saying, well, okay, if she does want to look good for these children, is that, pedophile activity? Is that grooming activity? A lot of people are questioning her motives. Like, what would be your motive for wanting to present yourself so sexy to these children, right? So I'm going to put a picture up on the screen of a few outfit choices that Teacher Bay decided to wear. Now, there are people in the comments that are defending this young lady, basically saying, hey, shorty got us a figure. It's not as easy for her to, cover up her curves as it is for other people. Y'all just jealous because y'all ain't got the body yaddy. Okay. Listen, there's a lot of people in the comments that's defending her. Now, my thing is this: coming from a business background, right? Okay. Even in a corporate office position, the attire at bare minimum is business casual. Okay. Now, what does that mean? Okay. Business attire means full blown blazer, suit down, heels. If you got a skirt on, pantyhose, button up, that type of vibe. Now, business casual, typically what they say is just take the jacket off. So it's everything minus the jacket for the most part. And so when you see some of her outfits, it kind of makes me think like, okay, one, would bodycon, the type of materials that she's choosing to wear, is that considered business casual? And I would challenge us to ask the question: would what she's wearing be acceptable in the corporate office? Now, I can't say that the skirts per se wouldn't fly, but what I would say 100% is that the shoe choice would absolutely not fly. One of the things that is known in the corporate office is that you typically don't wear open-toed shoes in corporate. That's just a rule of thumb. Maybe some people get away with it in certain industries. I'm not really sure, but open-toed shoes are typically a no-no. So my only opinion about what it was that she was wearing that was a little questionable was when it came down to her shoes. Okay. I think that the shoes is what kind of took it from what could have possibly been determined as business casual and took it to, okay, maybe this is club attire. And then add on to the fact that she does got body yaddy. Okay. She can't hide it. However, I do feel like there are things that she could do to make it less prominent. And I think that does have to do with the fabric. Typically business fabric is what? Polyester. Nylon, something with a little structure to it. But the fact that it's so soft and everything that she wears is hugging the curves, I think is why a lot of people have issues with the way that she dresses. And on top of that, the comments are eating shorty up for the fact that she got a BBL. Now, obviously, we didn't grow up with, Miss Brown back in second grade having no BBL. We ain't had to worry about that because Miss Brown was in her 50s. Okay. Miss Brown, she wasn't worried about no BBL back in the day. Okay. But it's something I think that we need to discuss is that we're in this age of the new educator. A lot of our educators are a lot younger. Okay. We also are in a different time where everybody wants to create content. Everybody wants to be an influencer. And so a lot of the things that were left to the unknown back then are now being showcased because people want to put it out there. People want to gain some type of notoriety for what they do on a daily basis. And which is nothing wrong with that. But I think that we have to realize the time that we live in, which means that the educators that we see these days are not the same. They are not the same old heads that we used to see back in the day. The educators are way younger. The educators are, I mean, a lot of the times now coming straight out of high school and becoming educators. So now you got educators that are in their low 20s at best. And so if they don't have anybody that's kind of like giving them the game, how it was given to us, of course they're going to just present themselves in a way that feels authentic to them. So I told a line with this issue because I feel like, okay, she's being authentic to herself. And she talks a lot about the fact that, her test scores aren't, lacking. Her kids are focused. The kids see her as a very strict figure. So it's like, is her job lacking? No. But at the same time, do we know that children, young boys specifically, and now we got to say young girls because, at that age, a lot of the girls now are thinking different things too. At that age, their hormones are high. They're going to do puberty. So are they looking? Probably. Are they paying a little extra attention because they're attracted to this teacher? Probably. And so, I told a line with it because we talked several times before about different activities that are going on with the babies in the school with these younger educators who are I'm not going to say taking advantage, but taking advantage of these students and having sexual relations with them. And so I do believe that it's innocent until it's not innocent. It's innocent until, maybe she's not getting the type of attention that she felt like she needs outside of work. And this little kid that looks like a grown man, because kids is grown, bigger these days. And he comes up and put the moves on her. And now she don't know how to move. Okay. So it's innocent until it's not innocent. But listen, I don't know. The whole situation is crazy to me. But like I said, it's just a lot to be thought about. Like my question is really not about what she got on in the sense of like how it hugs her body. My question is like, how can sis afford Dior on a school salary? Clock that tea, okay? Clock that tea. I want to know where sis getting the funds from. That's what I want to know. Y'all asking the wrong daggone questions. But let me know in the chat what's your thoughts around Teacher Bay and what she decides, to wear to school. Would you have an issue with your young son, your young daughter, whoever, going to school and this being their teacher? How would you feel about it? Let me know down in the chat. Now, I'm going to switch the flow up a little bit this week, okay? I'm going to switch the flow up because we got a lot to talk about, but I want to make sure I don't lose y'all before we get to the good stuff. Now, with that being said, I got a topic for y'all. I'm going to interweave some topics in between some of this tea that I'm spilling this week. Now, the topic that I would like to talk about this week is a video that I saw on TikTok. Now, listen, ladies, before I even jump into this, because y'all know that I'm normally a girl's girl, okay? I ride down for us, but I'm also a girl's girl, so I'm going to tell us when we wrong. Ladies, it's looking a little rough for us this week, okay? I'm going to need y'all to tighten up. Tighten up, okay? Listen, it's a lot of foolery going on. There was a video that I saw on TikTok of a young lady who went on a date and she had an experience. She was invited on a church date. I'm gonna play the video for y'all so y'all see how I play out, and then I'm gonna give y'all my thoughts. But she was invited to a church date, and the date didn't go as she wanted it to, and then she took the TikTok asking was she wrong in the comments. Now y'all be the judge and let me know how y'all feel. Was shorty wrong or not? Take a look. Y'all, I'm trying this new feature out, so bear with your good sis. Listen, I'm trying it out for us because we got to step our game up in 2025. We about to be in 2026. But take a look. First, hold on. Let's play what the girlie said first, and then we going to play what the dude said.
Was going to church, but I was late to the date. He arrived at my house at 9:25. At 9:20, I was out by 9:25, so I was pushing the time that it took to get to church. So then I wanted to get some Starbucks. So we go get Starbucks, and he felt like I was pushing the time because church started at 10. We arrived to church exactly at 10, But you know how when you're in the car and you gotta get like ready, put your lip on, get the oil off the bottom of your shoes and stuff, I was doing that. So my date was really anxious to get into church, but I felt like you could just wait for me. So then he's like, I'm gonna just leave you the key. Mind you, this is my first time at his church. I've never been to this church before. I'm a little anxious. It's a date. It's already like the nerves are there. So he leaves, and then I get upset. And I'm like, I feel like you just left me. So I text my friend, and I was like, can you come pick me up? And she's like, where you at? As I'm texting her and talking to her, he comes out because he's like, where are you at? I said, I'm leaving. So then I'm like, he's like, no, don't leave. So I get out of the car, and he's like, come on, let's just go to church. Let's go to church. Let's walk in. And then I was like, no. So I turn around. I was like, I'm not going. And then this went on for like less than like 2 minutes in the parking lot. So then I get tearful because I'm feeling left out. Like, I feel like you just tried to leave me. And I don't know what that is. But I need y'all to tell me if I'm wrong. Am I wrong for saying I'm going to leave? Because he said that he felt like it was disrespectful to do all of that. And I just don't feel like I was being disrespectful, because I feel like once you got out of the car, you basically left me, and I don't know, I'm your guest. Granted, I don't think that was the intent, but I want to know if y'all feel like I'm disrespectful, because I just don't think it's disrespectful that I felt like he could have waited like 3 minutes. I was done. We got to church at 10. I wrapped everything up by 10:03, but then he wanted to hurry up and leave, and then he ended up having to come back out. Am I wrong? Is that wrong? For real, like, is that wrong? Was
Now, this is what I got to say about this matter, okay? This is what I got to say about the matter. Let's get back in focus, okay? Let's get back in focus. This is what I have to say about the matter. Sis was absolutely wrong, okay? She was wrong down. She was wrong all the way through the situation. She was wrong from the fact that this man told her what time it started. Now, I ain't gonna lie, I gotta take responsibility even though it wasn't me, because listen, sis be late, okay? I be late all the time, and anybody who know, but it don't listen. Charge it to my I don't know. It ain't never a reflection of my heart. But all I can say is, if there was something that we needed to be on time for, I would absolutely be on time. But if there is not something that's timely, your sis might be a little later. Just is what it is. But she was wrong all the way through it. Like, no matter how you spin it. He told you what time the date, like, church started, right? He told you what time he was going to be there, okay? You were late coming to the car. Okay, cool. Even if he wanted to give you a pass, I could see, okay, go ahead. I give you a pass, shorty. You was only about 5 minutes past the time that I said I was going to be there. We still got more than enough time to get to church and be there on time, getting our seats, whatever. But now insult to injury comes in when shorty say, I want to go to Starbucks. Excuse me. Audacity was at an all-time high when she even fixed her lips to say she wanted to go to Starbucks. Ma'am, if you knew you were going to be late, you could have at least done a couple of things. Made your coffee at home. You could have door dashed your Starbucks and make sure you had it there so that you were ready fully when he got there. Or you could have said, hey, I'll be ready a couple minutes early because I know I need my caffeine in the morning. Can we stop past Starbucks? And maybe he would have been like, all right, well, I'll be there at 9:15 instead of 9:20 or whatever the case may be. You didn't give him the courtesy of doing that. But even still, he took you to Starbucks, okay? He fed into your foolishness, okay? He didn't crash out at this point. But then after you get your Starbucks and now we're late to church, not only do we stop at Starbucks, we're late to church, we get to the parking lot, and now you're still fooling around, okay? You're still in the mirror putting lip gloss on and doing all these extra things, knowing that you all are late and you made this man late. And this is a bad reflection of you and how you fit into his life. Obviously, you can't fit into the routine that he got down pat, because this is a part of who he is and a part of what he does. And so if you can't be a part of the program without causing disruption, You don't need to be a part of the program. Even still, he handled the situation the best that I feel like he could have. He said, "Hey, go ahead, finish doing what you're doing, and just lock up the car. Come meet me when you come in." But you had to pout and stomp like a little girl and make it about you after it was about you the whole time, and say, "Nah, I'm good. I'm about to be out." And then even after that, he said, "No, don't leave. Don't leave. I'm going to come outside real quick." And you decided to show your behind again. After you already took all this time to get dressed, girl, you ain't even think in your mind, all right, I already wasted this man's time. Let me just go ahead and go in here. You know what I mean? Like, he already waited for me, whatever the case may be. Let me just go ahead and go into church and get this word. But instead, you decide to show your behind. Crazy work. Crazy work. Now, when I first looked at this story, I didn't know that the man actually made a response video to what Shorty did. But we about to get into it, all right? Listen, take a look. Look, take a look.
So let me get this right. A guy asks you to go on a date to church. He tells you that the church service starts at 10 o'clock. He said he'll be at the house to pick you up at 9:20, which gives you ample time to be ready and then finally make it to church as soon as he picks you up. You proceed to come out at 9:25. Running late after dragging your feet, you then ask him if he can stop by Starbucks for a little snacky snack. You then get the snacky snack, make it to the
now
church.
The snacky snack is what took me out.
He told you that the church service starts at 10 on the dot. And then you want to look in the mirror for an additional extra 5 minutes when you're already late and made him late because you were late to come outside to begin with. And then you get on the video, bash him and act like he's a bad person when all he was trying to do was rush to hear the Lord's sermon. But instead you wanted to plot gloss in the mirror and then cry about it after he told you to just lock the car up whenever you come in and left you inside the car for you can finish your makeup. But he's wrong. And you want to question yourself or question his integrity on the internet when all he wanted to do was go see the Lord. The Lord waits for no man or woman. I'm more concerned about how you think you're justified or right. I feel like...
Listen, all I'm going to say is he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. Listen, all I'm going to say is what Troy say off of Waiting to Excel? Excel? Y'all women want to always complain about a man don't know how to treat you.
Complain all the time about don't nobody want your asses, don't know how to treat you. As soon as a man or brother show you genuine interest, you bitches act simple. Then you wonder why we go out with white women.
And then you act simple. Listen, whatever Troy said on Waiting to Excel. But listen, it's a prime example of a woman listen, and look, and it's been quoted several times. Marcus on Why Did I Get Married said, y'all women don't know what y'all want. Okay, listen, I don't know. I'm starting to think we don't. Because at the end of the day, sis, it should have been enough for you to be like, oh, this man really serious about getting the word up in him. Like, that should have been your only focus, is realizing that this man is hungry for Christ and he wanted to be on time to receive that word. Okay, listen, all I'm going to say is I'm just irritated with the fact that the ones I say I be wanting get the ones that don't appreciate. Okay, listen, y'all let me know down in the chat, was Shorty wrong? Like, let me know down in the chat. Let me know if y'all got a story similar. I don't know. Give me your thoughts down in the chat, because this situation just blew my mind, and I had to call the girlies out on this one because the audacity was at an all-time high to think that that man should have just kissed your behind after you already was dragging your feet. Let me know down in the chat. Now, speaking of church, okay, listen, y'all know I don't really have too many cut cards when it comes to, ministry and Christ and things of the church. But we talked about this influential bishop a couple of seasons back. And the reason why we talked about him initially was because he's a bishop of this church, this mega church. And on New Year's, I don't know if y'all remember, if y'all been tapped in that long, but on New Year's, we talked about the fact that he had a watch night service that included a lot of secular components. The church was in there, man, I got that swag. And they're swag surfing, okay? They was in there walking it out. They was in there doing all the things. And it was a lot of questionable feedback about that, because we were just like, okay, this does not look like the church. He came back out and basically said that, this is some only, to some, maybe the only way that some people get access to the church and stick around and stay. And so he didn't see no problem with what he was doing. But if y'all haven't gathered who I'm talking about already, I'm talking about Bishop William Murphy. He was under fire. He's constantly under fire for a lot of things. Has an amazing voice. Has a lot of different songs that have made a huge impact in the gospel industry. But he's honestly always under fire, just like Pastor Mike Todd, for the way that he chooses to present to the church. Now, what he's under fire for now, in 2025 is he recently just crossed over, Divine 9, Omega Psi Phi. He is officially a Q dog. Now I'm going to show y'all a video. Okay. I'm going to show y'all a video of what he looks like. Listen, take a look. Take a look. Because at first I was like, yeah, this is a little cringy. But yeah, take a look. Now, as cringy as that was, because it was very cringy, he made a video commenting about the backlash surrounding his Divine 9 fraternity affiliation. A lot of people of the Christian community weren't happy about that affiliation. I'll say that I made a video on TikTok nice little bit ago now, where I talked about my journey with Greek life and, kind of since renouncing that since I've, gotten out of college. And there are a lot of occult practices that are tied into the brotherhood, the secret societies, because that's what they are. And so I can totally understand the backlash around why people of the church would feel a certain type of way about him openly affiliating himself with Greek life. Now, my thing is, I don't know if it makes it any better or worse, but I mean, if you know anything about Greek life, the purple and gold, them Q dogs is ratchet. Okay, listen, I'm scared. I'm traumatized. I don't want to be nowhere. Listen, I don't want to be in distance of a Q. Okay, because questionable activities might happen once we lock eyes. That's all I'm saying. If you know, you know. Okay. Listen, them Q's is a little risque. They don't know how to take no for an answer. Consent does not matter when you're in the vicinity of a Q. Okay. So that's my only feedback as far as that, is that, like, could he have been a Kappa, give us a little shimmy or something? But he just full blown went to the freakazoid. Okay. Listen, if you know, you know. I ain't gotta say too much. But he made a video kind of addressing the backlash. And when he made that video, he basically said that he was taking care of himself and he needed friends that were disconnected from religion, but also found it from God. He also made statements saying that he's a third generation pastor who realizes that everything can't be church. Now, I give grace on this podcast. We've talked a lot about Kirk Franklin and his different antics, and you already know my standpoint on that. When it comes to William Murphy, I kind of take a similar standpoint. Now, the reason why I take a similar standpoint is because, him saying that it was something that he did for himself, right? And then the fact that he also says that his lineage, allowed him to be so closely connected to the church his entire life means that, to me, it means that there was a part of him that he didn't get to explore or be true to. And as you all know, I'm on this journey of being true to my personal guide, my personal wishes and things that I enjoy outside of what was taught to me or pushed on me as a young person. So I get it. And so that's why I say, like, I told a line with it, because I understand what he may be feeling. Feeling like he wants to experience something that he never got to experience before. And so I feel like there's a level of grace that needs to be had there, and understanding that he's just being true to who he is. But it was also something in the same breath that just felt out of order to me. Him standing out there, it's working for my good. Like, it was like, something ain't right here. It was giving a little cringe. It was a little out of order for me. Something just didn't seem right. I feel like he could, I don't know. It ain't for me to say. Let me know your thoughts down in the chat. Listen, before I say too much, let me know your thoughts down in the chat, because this situation is definitely a little different. I'm still trying to figure out how text messages be coming through when I got my phone on airplane mode. Because maybe because I got my Wi-Fi on. But anyway, let me know your thoughts down in the chat. Let me know what's your thoughts about it. Like, is it out of order? Like, should a bishop be taking part in these type of activities? Was that dog collar around his neck a little too much? I don't know. Let me know down in the chat. Now, with this situation, I don't know whether I should close the door. Close the door. Close the door. Or should I open it? But nonetheless, speaking of closing the door, Marvin Sapp, did y'all know that Marvin Sapp came out with a song called Close the Door after his famous, his viral moment where he told them people to close the door and not let the people out until they gave an offering? Did y'all know? If you didn't know, now you know. Take a look.
Close the door on anxiety. Close the door. On the pain and the stain that keeps chasing me. Close the door on the ridicule. And on the noise that tries to make me lose my cool.
Now, I'm not going to play the whole thing because I'm not trying to get flagged for copyright. However, I'm all for a good marketing tactic. I'm all for taking a questionable situation and flipping it and making that thing do what it do. All for it. When I first heard it, because the way this came on my radar is so funny, because my pastor, we were talking, I don't know what we were talking about. We talk about a lot of different things, but we were talking about something, and she was like, "Well, did you hear Marvin Sapp's song?" And I said, "No." What? He has a song? And she played it for me, and I wholeheartedly did not know how to feel. I didn't know how to feel because I was just like, is this going to be doing too much? Like, are we now trying to profit even further off of that? Like, is it aligned with what God wants for the church? I had so many thoughts. But when I listened to the song, right, one thing that we can't take away from Marvin Sapp is that Marvin Sapp is an amazing musician, okay? A very anointed musician. And I think that this song was well put together. I like the spin that he put on this song, because it really changed the narrative, right? He took a situation that was very negative, where the spotlight was on him, judging him for whatever reason, coming to whatever assumptions about him. And he flipped it around and basically kind of gave us a transparency moment where he let us know, like, some of his inner thoughts. And he basically said he's closing the door to all the negative speculation. And I thought it was a very just heartwarming outcry, like an outpour of transparency. And I appreciated the song. So I'm going to go ahead and give him a round of applause. I think that he deserves the round of applause for taking a questionable situation and spinning it and changing the narrative. I think he did a very good job doing so. But let me know your thoughts down in the chat. Is it a bop or not. Listen, let me know. Like, was it too far? Or was it not far enough? I don't know. Let me know down in the chat your thoughts about this new song that Marvin Sapp came out with. Now, moving on to more spill the tea topics. If y'all haven't seen, Cracker Barrel is now under scrutiny for taking the cracker off the barrel. Listen, they took their famous Uncle Herschel figure off of the logo and presented that they would be having a new logo that minus that person figure, and now creating like this fresh look, fresh modern look. And people are losing their daggone minds. They announced this back on August 20th. And people, like I said, people weren't happy. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Cracker Barrel, a lot of us, unless we're older, because the older us like going to Cracker Barrel. All I can say is my stepfather, years ago, we used to go to Cracker Barrel all the time when I was a kid. And I just always remember as a child, okay, that's a lot to be said about being a child and feeling like an eerie feeling walking in there, right? I always felt uncomfortable. I always felt like it wasn't for us. Vibes don't lie. And in the coming of ages, you know, the more recent times, people have come out saying that they, you know, they seen questionable wall art that's been in the restaurant. People have quoted saying that they have seen nooses hung up around the environment. I can't confirm or deny any of those things. But all I know is the feeling of what it made me feel. And personally, Cracker Barrel ain't my jig. So I could care less whether they take the cracker off the barrel or leave them on there. Because I won't be going. Unless my dad, because he loves their meatloaf, unless he want to go there, that's the only way I'm going to Cracker Barrel. It ain't for me, and obviously it's for them because they fighting so hard against it. It actually drew a lot of outrage and criticism from, you know, different people who frequent the place, but also people such as our President Trump. They were outraged. Basically, you know, people had made comments about Cracker Barrel taking away the last piece of nostalgia they had left. A lot of people recall growing up and, you know, just having that home cooked Southern feeling, you know, that Southern comfort type of feeling. And that's what they feel like they're missing. Now, not only did Cracker Barrel change their logo, in which they said that they kind of reverted back to a previous style, because a lot of people don't know that Uncle Herschel wasn't always on the logo. They kind of went back to a previous style of a logo that was released in 1969. But a lot of people don't know that. And they basically said that their new logo, the colors are to resemble farm fresh scrambled eggs and buttermilk biscuits, which, you know, inspired the color palette for the new campaign. And basically, not only did they change the logo, they actually are in the process of changing the aesthetic of the franchise as well. And so all of this is a part of their All the More campaign, which positions the iconic American brand for the future. And so basically, to me, what that says is they realize that I was about to say Country Barrel. Cracker Barrel is an old timey feel, an old timey look, and they want to position themselves to the future because they realize that everything is evolving, and they kind of want to keep up with that growing trend and not become a thing of the past, especially with a lot of their clientele being older people and a lot of those baby boomers dying off. They kind of want to appeal to the, you know, the new audience or whatever. And so they said they believe that in goodness of country hospitality, a spirit that has always defined us. Our story hasn't changed. Our values haven't changed. With all the more, we're honoring our legacy while bringing fresh energy, thoughtful craftsmanship, heartfelt hospitality to our guests this fall. And I'm going to show y'all a picture because they have already started with... they already started making some changes in some of their franchises. And from what I can see, it would have definitely been a huge culture shock for about to say Old Country. Lord have mercy. I want to call this thing everything but what it is. I was definitely about to say Old Country Buffet. But it's definitely given a totally different feel than what Cracker Barrel has given in the past. And which I feel like it probably would have brought in a different crowd of people. But I don't know if that would have been a good thing or a bad thing. But it definitely is a different look and feel. So I understand why, people who historically enjoyed that space would be upset with the new changes because it just doesn't feel the same anymore. So I totally get it. But basically, as of yesterday, Tuesday, September 20th, I'm about to say 29th, Lord have mercy. I'm all over the place, y'all. As of September the 9th, Tuesday, they have suspended restaurant remodels abruptly. And the reason why they suspended it is because a lot of their guests and a lot of their team members basically, have had a lot of issues with what's going on. So y'all let me know down in the chat once y'all see this picture. How do you feel about the logo? Do you feel like it was that deep that they, that people are upset about taking Uncle Herschel off the logo? Or do you feel like, it was more deeply rooted and they, changing the whole look is, a part of the Make America Great Again initiative? Let me know down in the chat. Like, how do you feel about that picture? Like, would you even consider, like, with that new look, would you consider going to Cracker Barrel if you've never been there before? Let me know down in the chat. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Now, like I said, I got another topic for y'all. We just gonna push right on through, okay? The next topic I have for you all, because like I said, the girlies, we losing this week. We are down bad. I'm gonna need y'all to tighten up. There's another video going around. It's one of my I call him my uncle. He sent me this video, and when he sent it to me, I was like, really? What in the world is going on here? Okay. Listen, I'm gonna just go ahead and play the video for y'all because the thing that shocked me, I ain't gonna lie to y'all, it shocked me to my core, and wholeheartedly in my heart, I'm really hoping that it's like rage bait or something. I really hope that this is not real, because if it is real, it puts me in a place of what is going on in the world? Like, are we doomed? And y'all already know how I feel about the dating scene. And so it really makes me feel like if this is what's going on in the world, the future is not looking bright. But listen, y'all take a look. Let me know your thoughts in the chat. Because this one is wild.
That's enough.
How that's enough? So you think you just bringing sex is enough?
Yes, of course. What?
I mean, we just having fun. That's it. We ain't taking nothing serious though, right?
I mean, you're the one that said something about serious.
Okay, I'm not. I mean, neither. I ain't taking it serious. I'm just saying though, like.
Well, I'm saying we can have fun.
Okay, I'm with that then. Cause you give like a one night stand, so I'm with that then.
Wow.
Listen, I'm not mad. Listen.
Fun, right?
Yeah, but I want to keep having fun.
Okay, we can keep having
You
fun
also
too.
gotta pay me.
Hold on, I gotta pay you. What you mean I gotta pay you?
You gotta give me some money.
Give you some money for what?
What do you mean?
What you want to mean? So is you giving me money?
Why would I do that?
So why would I give you that? The same face you made, I should have made that same face. Why should I do that?
Because you're a man.
Cause I'm a man, but you're not my woman though.
I can be.
But we just said we ain't taking it there, right? We just having fun, right?
I mean,
So why would I give you money if you ain't give me money? Like, make it make sense.
it makes sense in my head.
Well, make it make sense in my head then.
I
Like,
can't make that make sense in
but
your
I'm saying I don't get it though. Like, we having fun, right? We both get when we both, you come and I'm coming. Like I'm saying, so like, why do I gotta give you money?
Because why wouldn't you?
By winning, because you're not my woman. You know what I'm saying? That's what I do for my woman. Not no girl that's mad. You feel me? And we're having fun
We
though.
did just meet though. We've already been talking for like what, 15, 20 minutes?
Oh, okay. So you think that's enough?
Yeah.
Okay. So you gonna spend money on me? You gonna give me money?
I mean, I pay for school.
Okay.
I don't really got money.
Well, I don't got money for you neither then.
Why?
What you mean why? I just told
With
you.
this car, I think you got plenty of money.
I can have money, but I don't got money to give to you though.
But why?
You're not my woman. What don't you understand?
Why do I gotta be your woman though?
So why you feel so like, you know what I'm saying, that I gotta give you money?
Because
Like,
I'm entitled to it.
why you feel so entitled though?
Because I'm a woman.
But you're not for me though. I'm not the same. I don't know what type of guys you running through like in your life, but I'm not one of them guys.
Well, I'm one of them girls, so.
That's okay, but it ain't gonna fly by with me though. Like I
Listen, y'all get the point. I'm gonna go
So if you
ahead
came
cut
back
this one
down,
short. I'm gonna cut this one short because I can't believe that this girl had the audacity, okay? Listen, I think this is a prime example of girls who use their beauty or, smooth talk these guys and smooch them into doing whatever they wanted to do. And obviously, homeboy wasn't no simp because he wasn't going for her foolishness. But I think like the biggest part of the whole situation that made me upset was the level of entitlement, right? I know that men feel as women that we're entitled to a lot of different things, especially in this day and age. And I can totally understand why. If we go from watching that first video with the girl, who went on a date to church, and then we watch this girl, it's the level of entitlement in general. It's a lack of respect for herself in this video, and a lack of respect for him, to be quite honest. I think that women in this day and age see a man who has done well for himself and think, oh, just because he's doing well, he's supposed to just throw this money at me and whatever. And it's not right. It's not right. And I've said this various amount of times, I feel like those type of women make it harder for women like myself, because there's a healthy level of spending money and spending resources on a woman that you want to court. Now, do I believe that if this man was in a position where she actually wanted to be, pursued as something more, do I believe that he would have put his best foot forward and did what he had to do? Absolutely. Because he kept saying like, so are you going to be my girl? Are you going to be my girl? Like, and she's like, no, like, I'm just trying to have fun. So you're contradicting yourself. You're saying you want to have fun with this man. Then you said, well, I can be your girl. So now you're throwing mixed signals. Now you're being manipulative. And whole time, like, these girls failed to realize that if you were genuine with your intentions and carried yourself a certain type of way, the right man would do those things for you without you even having to ask for real. And I think it's crazy work that in the video, she says that they've known each other for a while now. And did y'all catch how long she said a while was? Sis said 15-20 minutes we've known each other. And that's enough for him to just be throwing money at her. And then when the video first came on, it was a conversation of, well, sex is enough. Do these girls realize that if you're giving sex for money is prostitution? I don't know that they realize that they're a bunch of sex workers out here. Okay. And if that's what you are, hey, clock that T. Do you, boo? Listen, 304 talk is a thing. We talked about that on this podcast too. So, hey, if that's what you do, ball out. Okay, I ain't mad at it. Listen, hate the player, don't hate the game. Do what you do, boo. Get your money however you get it. However, you need to be okay with, if that's what you are, a man treating you as such. You can't expect a man to respect you and treat you a certain type of way if you're only carrying yourself a certain type of way. And so I think that man handled that situation as best as he could. Do I believe that he needed to explain himself as much as he did? Absolutely not. I'd have kicked that girl straight out of my car. I would have been like, yeah, shorty, you ain't for me. Goodbye. This is a conversation I'm not even really willing to have. I'm going to go ahead and find somebody else my speed for real. So listen, shout out to him, Lil King, for knowing your worth, because these girls is crazy out here. Crazy work. Now, listen, I done did a lot. Okay. I done said a lot on the girlies this episode. So y'all know I got to give y'all a little something for the men too, because we got to hold everybody accountable. Balance. we practice balance on the Sistah Talk podcast. So one of the other videos that I wanted to talk to you all about is a video that was going around of Cam Newton from his podcast. He did an interview with a young man who's known for like relationship advice and things of that nature. And there's a clip that was going around very like, recent ago, where they discuss, basically the idea around a man asking a girl to be his girlfriend. Now I'm going to go ahead and show y'all a few minutes of this podcast, because I was going to show y'all just the clip, but once I went back and actually looked at that the podcast, like actually everything surrounding it, I wanted to do a deep dive into the situation, because it was a lot more context than what was given in that short clip that I saw on social media. So with that being said, take a look.
asking a girl to be your girlfriend, is that?
It's a long story. It doesn't happen anymore. Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore.
I don't think I asked my girl. We just was around each other.
So are you really dating?
Let somebody tell it, man. Y'all ain't even together because y'all ain't met.
No. Are you really dating though?
What do you mean dating?
I mean, you tell me. Are you guys together? Are you guys exclusive? You didn't ask.
Yeah, but even in that realm of saying, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend, or I want you to be my boyfriend, like it was already understood. Shouldn't be.
Was it understood?
I think if you live with a person, like you're.
You know what we're doing a lot of?
What?
Assuming.
And you know what to assume. Yeah, I'm familiar.
We're doing a lot of assuming. Of course, I'm sure you guys have worked it out now. But why even assume? Why give it up to an assumption, to a thought? Why not make it definitive? Why not let her know this is what I want?
I've said that numerous times.
And put a label on it.
And we'll keep. No, I've made it abundantly clear. I want to be with you. No, you're not going. No, smother me. Cover me.
Now, I think that's probably a good place to pause for a second. That's a good place to pause for a second. So the topic is, why in this day and age is it so acceptable and so much more popular that people are ending up with relationships without actually saying, hey, I want you to be my boyfriend, or I want you to be my girlfriend. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this is because it's actually a pain point for me. I am a woman who needs a lot of clarity, and I'm sure most women need clarity. I'm sure most women need reassurance because we're all kind of wired the same. For the most part, some of us don't. However, I just feel like as a woman who needs that type of clarity and that type of reassurance, I've been in situations where I've been kind of going with a simple flow with a dude, and I feel like it's a lot of mixed signals. 1 minute I feel like this, 1 minute I feel like this, 1 minute I feel like that. And there's no clarity. And I feel like all of that could be cleared up with the man being more clear with his intentions and what he wants, right? And so I have my own personal thoughts when it comes around this topic, right? I feel like men often leave that obscurity so that if they decide that they want to move on to somebody else, they could just say, oh, well, we was never in a relationship. We know how men work. Men try to like play on the legalities. Okay, they always looking for a loophole to get out of a situation, and I feel like that's also what plays a part in this scenario. And so it bothers me that people don't ask anymore. They just assume. They just go from, oh, we've been spending a lot of time. Oh, we've been going on all these different dates. Oh, we've been doing all these different things. So surely you're my girlfriend. But in this video, right, and I'm gonna continue to play the clip for y'all. In this video, he actually makes a lot of great points. You know, and matter of fact, I'm not even gonna play the whole thing for y'all. If y'all want to watch it, y'all go ahead and go to, you know, the Funky Friday podcast and look it up, because y'all can watch that on your own time. But like, he also goes into basically saying, like, you know, there's a lot of assumptions going on here. You're assuming that this person thinks the same way that you think about commitment, because Cam Newton is like, oh, well, what's understood don't need to be talked about. Oh, you know, we just went from spending this amount of time, and you know, if I'm staying at your house all these days or whatever the case may be, then we're together. But at the end of the day, as a woman, if we don't get that type of clarity to secure it and say, hey, this is what's going on, then our minds is like, yeah, we're doing this, and yeah, we're together. For the most part, like, we'll fall head over heels for it. But how many times have we been in a situation where we fall head over heels for a person, and then they turn around and say, oh, but just because you were staying at my house don't mean nothing. And so I do think that there needs to be a level of clarity. Now, they also go into this conversation and Cam Newton says, well, hey, if that's the case, well, I need the woman to open her mouth and say, hey, what are we if we need that type of clarity or whatever the case may be. And I have mixed feelings about that. I do feel like as women, we should be able to ask for that clarity, but also being that person who hasn't received that clarity before is some level of rejection or not wanting to know. And so you never ask the question because like you don't want to be crushed, because obviously at that point your feelings are involved. And so it's like it's this conversation of like who has the responsibility, to bring that conversation up. Like, how does that come up? Have you all experienced this in your personal lives? Have you all experienced this in your personal lives where you've ended up in a situation and you're not sure and you dance around the conversation? How did that play out for y'all? Because like I said, for me, when there's a lack of clarity, there's always gray area and there's always room for somebody to do some shenanigans. Okay. So I'm not a fan of it. But this conversation was a great conversation because he gave him food for thought and he challenged them and he said, hey, you got to think of the other person and where they are. And I feel like from a biblical standpoint, right, as women, we look for men to be the leaders. And that's just in general. And so to us, leadership looks like if we're having this vibe and we're feeling each other and we're going in a certain direction, we are looking for you to lock in and say, hey, this is what we're doing. And we'll confirm and, and assure you as well that we're there where you are. And so I don't know, like, I just feel like, because I know I had this conversation with one of my homeboys before where I was just like, why don't people have that conversation? Like, I know it's such a rudimentary type of concept where, oh, do you want to be my boyfriend? Do you want to be my girlfriend? Check the box, yes, no, or maybe. But at the end of the day, I feel like it gives everybody involved a level of clarity that is necessary for a relationship. I don't think anything should be assumed in a relationship because you're two different people at the end of the day, and nobody is a freaking mind reader, okay? But that's just my little spill on that. Let me know your thoughts down in the chat. Am I thinking about this far left? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the chat. If you're in a relationship, did y'all solidify the relationship and say, hey, we boyfriend and girlfriend, we go together real bad, okay? My man. Let me know down in the chat. Now, before we go, because we're at the end of the episode and my battery is definitely about to die, y'all, we haven't done an affirmation. So I do want to leave y'all with an affirmation this week because, I haven't given y'all no gems, to get y'all through y'all week in a nice little minute. So I'm going to go ahead and give us a nice affirmation before I close us out on this episode. And so this is what we got. I'm not here to compete. I'm here to effing dominate. And yes, it does say effing. I just feel like, hey, that's self-explanatory. Listen, you are who you say you are. You is who you say you is. Stop letting them dim your light. Go ahead and walk in all the brightness that you have, all that is you. Shine your light to the world, okay? And make it do what it's supposed to do. Listen, own your lane, okay? That's all I'm going to say. Own your lane. Don't let nobody tell you ain't who you think you is, okay? Look, a lot of ebonics. But that's what we doing today. Listen, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of the Sistah Talk podcast. I'm your host, Gold Chain Diva. Okay. If you want to follow me on social media, follow me at goldchain__diva. And I hope you tune in next week for another episode of the Sistah Talk podcast. Have a great week.